Well, guys. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional, okay? I don't know what glitched for a second there. That was kind of weird. Sometimes changing it from the actual video itself to the normal screen, it's delayed by like 20 seconds. It's like YouTube. When I connect via YouTube, well, this is with StreamYards or Streamlabs. Okay, now we're getting into the technical stuff. Let's not do this. But I'll explain it because I've already started. It takes like 15 to 20 seconds. Sometimes it takes up to a full minute. And sometimes that's why I'm like 2 minutes late to stream technically from the start time, because YouTube doesn't work. I love YouTube. Please don't ban me. Hi guys, welcome to live stream. Hope you're doing good. Tonight is a very rare, well, increasingly less rare, discussion stream. There's a bunch of random stuff that's happened today and also yesterday that I thought that we could talk about. Some I've already done videos on that there's updates to. Some that I just want to talk about again. Per usual, women do be yapping. Nothing that major. Just lots of follow-ups to like Snow White, which I know everybody's so excited for. Guys, I cannot wait for Snow White to finally come out. I know we're all gonna go and see it, right? Surely we're all gonna go see it. So there's a bit more with Snow White. I'm sure that you've all already seen the Lord Farquaad memes, which are truly great. I love when people like Rachel Zegler get absolutely wrecked, because there's not a lot of people within Hollywood that I genuinely hate as much as Rachel Zegler. Like, maybe in real life she's a nice person. Maybe. But we know I'm far too generous, and I give companies and people the benefit of the doubt too often. I don't think that she's a nice person. I mean, Gal Gadot hates her. That's very clear. At least judging by some of the, like, kind of the red carpet events that they've been doing recently to, like, promote it. To promote Snow White. So we're going to be talking about that. And I'm sure that we're going to do a lot of memeing on Lady Farquaad over here. We're going to be talking about GDC. because, well, I guess it's kind of like a two-in-one topic because GDC happens soon, and there's Canadian... Do I even need to specify, guys, that it's Canadians? There's Canadian game devs who are, of course, they're warning all Canadians to not attend GDC because they fear that they will not be allowed to leave, or worse, quote, wipe your phones. Don't you think that's a little suspicious to tell people, oh yeah, if you're coming into this country, by the way, wipe your phones? What does Canada allow people to have on their phones that you know, what? Very questionable wording there. You know, listen, we have a lot of Canadians in my audience, and I appreciate you guys, but let's keep it a buck. You guys are screwed. Canada's a cesspool. And there are, again, some, like, genuinely good Canadian people out there. But you're telling people to wipe their phones before they come into the country. What are you trying to hide? We know that Kim Belair is going to be there. We know that she is presenting the Black Designer's Dilemma, which is just insane to me because these people constantly say, oh, anybody should be allowed to work in the video game industry. And, oh, it shouldn't matter what color your skin is or what gender you are. But then, as soon as it comes time to uphold that and say that everybody should be treated as equals, they don't want to be treated as equals. And they deserve a presentation based on the color of their skin, or in a lot of cases, their gender. She's written for projects including Valhalla, Neocab, Sable, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Yeah, that was a really great one. She's honestly done some fantastic work, hasn't she? Which I think is so funny. She's still trying, and I guess I give her some kind of credit for that. But I don't really know how much credit I can give her. You know, I feel like she should have probably realized at this point that this big career that she wanted isn't really going anywhere because she just sucks at her job. You have to be really bad at your job to make basically an entire industry hate you. And yeah, there's some people out there who like Sweet Baby and like Kim Belair. They're few and far between. Most of the internet, I guess I could specify the gaming internet that knows about the culture war, absolutely loathes her and her work because she's not very good at video game writing or consulting. Again, she really only has a position within this industry because of her gender and because of the color of her skin, which is terrible. But I remember, I think it was 2 years ago at GDC, how the developers went there and screeched about, I don't know, their frustrations about layoffs and like the patriarchy and yada yada. These people are insane. No wonder there are people out there who don't take gamers seriously, who don't take this industry seriously. I mean, seriously. Really quickly, let me get to these. Merlin, thank you so much for the 2. K-Law, thank you for the 20 because you have donated back to back. Snow One Cares update. 5 theaters within 50 miles of me. More broken seating unavailable than seats reserved for all 16 showings on Thursday. 3 total reserved seats across IMAX, 40 in normal shows. I just had the same thing happen where it wasn't about Snow White, but it was about Mickey 17. That was a movie that for like months I've been excited for. I really wanted to go see it, and I was going to get a ticket. And then I was like, well, there's literally no seats being purchased, so I'm not going to pay the whatever it was, $250 extra for the reserve fee, which is straight up dumb. But now I'm not going to go see the movie. I'm going to wait and watch it a different way, if you know what I'm saying. It seems that Hollywood has the potential with some unique content, and then they completely squander it Or in the case of Snow White, we're talking about Disney here, right? Disney makes a ton of money. Disney is well known in the industry. You'd think that as soon as Disney tickets go up for sale, they wouldn't necessarily sell out, but there would be quite a lot of people, maybe like half a theater's worth of people. But no, that doesn't happen. The picture of Kim Belair presents her as a low-class Jersey boardwalk avoidance target. It's intensely unflattering on her. I don't have anything to say about Kim Belair's looks. But how do I say this in the nicest way possible? She presents herself as if she's just a poor, sad, unfortunate woman in the world, like it's going to gain her victim points, and really it just makes her look pretty pathetic, right? She's the CEO of a company that is working with mega corporations like Microsoft and PlayStation. You're not going to convince me that she makes no money. She could, I don't know, put something together for herself. That's the nicest way I could put it. Kayla, thank you for the 20 though. Mr. Waifu Taker, thank you so much for the 30 months as a Bronze Titan. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, that's, I don't think I could say it in another way. I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? She can dress how she wants. She can look how she wants. It doesn't affect me any. But there comes a point where you really start to question why, or I guess you just kind of realize that she's doing it intentionally to continue to like play a victim. So yeah, Kim Belair, what's up, sister? The Black Designer's Dilemma. I just think it's so ridiculous that you have presentations based on the color of somebody's skin or their gender or their culture or different things like that. Like, you claim you want, well, these people don't actually want equality. See, that's the problem, is that it used to be about equality, but it's not anymore. It's about superiority with people like Kim Belair. We're going to talk about Monster Hunter. I had done a video on this yesterday, and everybody was laughing at the gamer. And I thought that we could reread through the article, because I think that this is truly just a perfect example as to why people do not take video game journos seriously. I think that there is always a time and a place, right, for people to have their own opinions and to voice their own opinions. And that's even with game journalists. Even though I think most of them are pretty ridiculous, and they're completely out of touch, right? I still think that at the end of the day, they can still put up opinion pieces. But the problem with journos is that they are supposed to be writing articles for gamers. And really all they're doing is writing articles that continue to show how out of touch they really are with gamers. It's like me, for example. I'm a content creator. I talk about video games every day, right? Like, I have my own opinions that even sometimes people aren't going to agree with. But ultimately, I'm not trying to sit here and convince anybody that, like, my opinion is superior. But that's what these people are trying to do, that, oh, they know more than you about video games. Because they, I guess, for the 24 of them that are left, still get paid to talk about the industry. But they can't hold themselves accountable, because they are the reason why their jobs are fizzling out, why, like, their career path is no longer going to exist. Now, sure, I understand these journos, again, using that term loosely here, I understand these journos might have been relevant, I don't know, 20 years ago, but they're not anymore because of content creators. And then you have ones, I'm not going to name names. Don't look at me. Don't start spamming names in chat. I would never promote that. There are journos out there who say, oh, you know, YouTube, Twitch streamers, low quality content, and then they turn around and do it themselves. Because I think have finally come to the realization that that is literally the only way that they are going to stay relevant within this space at all. And by relevant, I mean being a lol cow. Well, because they've dug themselves into these holes. They're not journalists, they critique and editorialize. That's true. Also, hello, Rover. Hope you're doing good. MSM game journalism integrity died with Five Guys, burgers, and fries. The thing with game journalism is, I mean, I always say this, I'm far too kind, as you guys like to point out. Yes, originally I gave Starfield a 7. I'd give it a 6 now, but originally I gave it a 7. Okay? There is space for video game journos, people who actually do research into things, people who actually go out of their way to figure out information and provide like thorough critiques and studies, but these people don't do that anymore. It's like I covered yesterday in a video about how there were journos, specifically at The Gamer. I love The Gamer. They're great. I hope The Gamer never goes out of business. I always need someone to roast. The Gamer can be the one that stays around at this point, I guess. The Gamer had complained about how there was racism in Marvel Rivals chat. And, oh, how there are people using, like, mean usernames. And how if you go into matches, you're going to see all of this toxicity, yada yada, you're all racists or sexists or something or another. But their whole point was this thing is happening. So what did they do? They didn't go into a match. They didn't go into the game. They could have queued up for, I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, 10 matches. And then each of those matches, they could have screenshotted the usernames in the match. If there's a rampant racism and sexism and hatred, don't you think that, I don't know, 5 or 6 out of those matches would have had those usernames that they're attacking us for? Don't you think that those voice chats or the text chats would have had the content that they're attacking gamers for? Like, they could have done that, but it wouldn't have fit into their narrative, so then, well, yeah. But my point is that they could prove that they are still useful, or that they could still be relevant. But they don't do that. The Gamer, well, that's what they are. They're just so fucking gay. So stupid. I mean, hey, listen. The Gamer can stay around. It's fine with me. I like having ridiculousness to roast every once in a while. Skyrim VR, 3 must-have mods. Oh, actually, suddenly, I need to legitimately read a Gamer article. What have they been covering? Rise of the Ronin's PC launch is not off to a great start. I'm gonna scroll away from it for a second. I haven't read the byline or anything. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I haven't read the article. It's a $70 game that came out a year ago that on PlayStation 5 didn't run properly. I bet the PC port runs even worse, especially with the price tag. And even if it had been fixed when it originally came out, it wasn't even worth the $70 experience. Now let's actually read what it is. Rise of the Ronin faced mixed reviews on Steam with poor performance and visuals being the major complaint. Wow, who would have thunk it? It adds to the list of a poorly optimized PC game in 2024. Yeah. Almost every single PC port is poorly optimized nowadays. It's 70 USD for Rise PC. It might be 60. I don't think it's lower than that because it was 70 when it came out on console. Rise of the Ronin Steam. What is it? What's my date of birth? Go fuck yourself. Oh, it's 50. Okay. I guess 50 is a little bit more reasonable. I think that 50 is a good price tag for games, but also, I still was not the biggest fan of Rise of the Ronin. I was originally very hyped for it. I just thought it wasn't as good as I expected it to be. But I didn't even need to click on their article to know the problem. See, this is the issue with these websites like Kotaku, The Gamer, Polygon. They are still, like, relevant to a certain extent just because on Google they hold the top searches. So they still could, in theory, have some level of relevance. But instead of, like, trying to put in effort, they call us racists and sexists and just terrible people. Oh yeah, BlizzCon's going to be back in 2026. Do you guys care about BlizzCon? Are you guys, like, happy BlizzCon's returning? I like the gaming showcases, but I've never gotten super hyped for BlizzCon. I don't know. Like, I like some of their franchises, but don't you guys have cell phones? Just really kind of puts you off. I just, I don't know. It's like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. Congratulations to the people that are still playing WoW. Because that's primarily what it is. A couple Overwatchers. Anybody? I think most of those people have migrated to, to Marvel Rivals. Do you not have phones? Right? Efforts. I know. Who even puts work and effort into things these days? Journos, hey, we play the games we cover, shows Cuphead gameplay. You sure about that, pal? I've never streamed Cuphead, but I think I just need to stream one day the Cuphead tutorial and then be done with it. Maybe Metroid Dread as well. Recreating the biggest journo slop moments. Like, this is something I talk about all the time. This reminds me of when I see articles going up on, like, Game of Thrones. Like, who is Ned Stark? And what are his connections to the Lannisters? Like, bitch, it's been 14 years. We don't need another Game of Thrones article. I could just search and get one of the 50,000 that already exist. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been out for over a month. If you have not already put out an article on a quest, I would deduce that people have already completed the quest without your article. I just think it's so funny. Anyway, they said, why isn't Monster Hunter Wilds flopping like Dragon Age the Veilguard? Yeah, guys. Why isn't Wilds flopping? And why is... This is ridiculous. It is absurd that such a stunning and brave game like Veilguard, that, well, it's not even really sold, but we'll say for argument's sake, sold 1.5 million copies. How did this stunning and brave game not do better than a game that's already sold over 8 million copies? Probably like 12 million at this point. Who would have thought that a real video game would ever sell more copies than an identity politics, modern day slop-filled piece of propaganda? Dragon Age Veilguard is a lecture. It's not even a video game. I don't think anybody in their right mind would ask a question like this. Sure, Monster Hunter Wilds is a very fun game. And yes, it is very broken. But it is still a game. Where Dragon Age the Veilguard just constantly beats you over the head with a narrative. That's why people like Monster Hunter Wilds more. Why do you even need to question this at this point? Why is this their focus? As if that's going to, like, really make someone sit and say to themselves, huh, you know what? That is a good question. It's because Monster Hunter is still Monster Hunter. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They just made the wheel better. Oh yeah, 100%. Sure, there are things that people have criticized with it. And again, my major criticism has been the quality, because the game is, it's pretty broken even on PlayStation 5 Pro. But it's still a really good game. Monster Hunter Wilds is the latest entry in a long-running RPG series. It's the most approachable entry in the franchise yet. It may have lost some of its identity in the process of sanding down some of its more unique features, but the developers made that sacrifice in hopes of reaching a bigger audience. First of all, what do they mean? That they've sanded down some of its more unique features. They could have at least listed one, maybe two, to try to prove a point, but they didn't. Where have I heard this one before? Oh, right. Dragon Age the Veilguard is the latest entry in a long-running RPG series. It's the most approachable entry in the franchise yet. It may have lost some of its identity in the process of sanding down some of its more unique features, but the developers made that sacrifice in hopes of reaching a bigger audience. And yet the Veilguard and Wilds have experienced vastly different fortunes. Guys, how come? Veilguard failed, but Wild succeeded. Man, they just sound so whiny. I think this is the problem, is that they say it lost some of its identity, but really it lost its original identity because they tried to replace the identity with a new modern identity. Approachability for me, but not for thee. Hey, I didn't want to click this. Monster Hunter Wilds has been a huge hit, shifting 8 million copies in its first 3 days, making it the fastest-selling game in Capcom history, beating the previous 3-day record set by Monster Hunter World's 5 million copies at start. As I write this, Wilds is still the #1 seller on Steam, and will likely be sticking around the top 10 for quite a while. Though we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, it's safe to say that the gambit worked. Capcom went after the audience that had been scared off by previous games' unfriendly reputation and reeled them in. Hook, line, and sinker with a streamlined on-ramp, easier fights, and a greater emphasis on story and characters. Now, I play a lot of video games, right? I experience a lot of different video games. I listen to a lot of people's different opinions. I don't think I have ever said to myself that the other games were unfriendly. And I don't think I've ever heard a Monster Hunter game be labeled a game with like an unfriendly reputation. Like, sure, these games are a bit more difficult than others, right? They're not like walks in the park. But I also wouldn't say that they're like, they're not Souls-likes. That's for sure. Also, Nata fucking sucks, and I hate Nata, and that's the worst part of this game by far. Dragon Age the Veilguard, meanwhile, only managed to shift 1.5 million units in its first quarter. That low number was surprising. No, it wasn't. No. No, it wasn't. I don't think that anybody was shocked by Veilguard's poor performance. This is just what happens when, for months leading up to a game's release, you market it for a brand new audience, and then you throw away the other audience you had, and then like, I don't even know anything nice that I could say about Veilguard. I was going to try to say, like, I guess they brought back some of the existing characters, but, like, even that was not enough to save this experience. I mean, I'm struggling to come up with anything that could even be seen as, like, a slight praise for this game. That low number was surprising. Again, no, it wasn't. Given that Veilguard enjoyed EA's best single-player Steam release ever with 70,000 launch day concurrent players, but it seems that that strong debut, 70,000, is a strong debut, guys, versus Monster Hunter, which topped at 1.3 million. What about Black Myth Wukong that topped at 2.4 million? Sure, I guess for EA Steam releases, it's the best, but just because it's one company's best does not mean you can still call that number good. That's what's so funny to me. They always try to spin it this way, like, oh my gosh, this is the best for this company, but compare it to its competition. We're talking millions and millions and millions of people playing these other games. Like, it's still not good in the grand scheme of things. It says, though, it seems that strong debut was largely caused by the Dragon Age faithful showing up in huge numbers. Yeah, guys, huge numbers. On the strength of love for the series and strong reviews, once players actually got their hands on the game, though, the tides quickly turned and Veilguard was unable to break out into the mainstream. I think that this wording is also so hilarious. Guys, poor EA. Poor BioWare. Okay? They weren't given an opportunity. I can't even say it with a straight face. They weren't given an opportunity to break into the mainstream. This is just so sad for them. I can't believe it. They were not given an opportunity. Absolutely insane. Yeah, because anything that EA and BioWare puts out is instantly not mainstream. If you're wondering how Veilguard's launch compares to Inquisition's, well, it's hard to know. Inquisition reportedly sold 12 million copies, according to Mark Dara, who left BioWare in 2020. EA didn't reveal the number of units sold in the game's launch window, but stated that it was BioWare's most successful launch ever. Hey, that launch was the most successful. This launch is the most successful. The next launch is going to be the most successful. Every launch is the most successful. Both games were attempting to grow beyond their established fan bases to reach a more mainstream audience, and this is a problem. Stop trying to go for a new audience or a modern audience or a different audience and just make games that your real audience wants. It really shouldn't be that crazy of a concept. But apparently to these people it is. The most straightforward answer is that Monster Hunter had a lot more rough edges to sand off. It's a series that is known for its complex combat, esoteric multiplayer, and interlocking systems that aren't always well tutorialized. Wild still delivered on much of what the series is known for, and as someone who has played a couple dozen hours of the previous games, so they've only played, like, let's be honest, like 24 hours of other Monster Hunter games. That's pretty pathetic. In 24 hours, you can't even get to the meat and potatoes of, like, Monster Hunter World. Whatever, okay? We already know that they don't play video games. I don't need to ridicule their wording. We already know that they don't actually play these. Wilds is very recognizable as Monster Hunter. The core loop is still there. It's just contextualized a bit differently thanks to this entry's greater emphasis on story and characters. Killing monsters, harvesting their parts, turning them into gear, that's all still here, but with a better on-ramp, lower difficulty, and more narrative hooks. Ah, yes, guys. It's always better when a game lowers the difficulty. Tell me you're not a real fan of a franchise without telling me you're not a real fan of a franchise. That would be like somebody playing Dark Souls and saying, oh, I love these games. These games are so good, but I'm so much happier that they toned them back and made them easier. No real Souls fan would say that, because part of the experience is that it is difficult. The game also retains much of this series' complexity. You still have a ton of weapon types that each take practice to master. There are multiple currencies you need to collect, crafting to engage with, and thoughtful combat to learn. The Veilguard's problem was that Dragon Age was never as tough to understand as Monster Hunter. What are they fucking yapping about? Origins had a lot of role-playing depth and a detailed real-time with pause battle system, but the previous entries had already moved away from that by the time Veilguard rolled around. Veilguard was streamlined in every way. It traded in Inquisition's open world for a level-based structure, and levels were hyperlinear, leaving little room for exploration. The dialogue choices were superficial, allowing for little real roleplay. The combat was fun but simple, action RPG fare. The series lore was pared back or ignored, and the companions were largely uninteresting. The game began life as a live service, and it shows in the lack of detail and depth given to the world, which, yes, I would generally agree with at least some of these reasons, right? We're not talking about, like, me agreeing with all of their reasoning here, but, like, I agree with some of it. Though, they still go on to make absolutely insane claims here that just truly do not make sense. As BioWare remade Dragon Age into baby's first RPG, Larian was stepping in with a crunchier take on the studio's approach to design. Anyone who was disappointed to hear Veilguard had simplified too far could always just start a new Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. Listen, it's perfectly fine if you like Baldur's Gate 3. It's fantastic that so many people love this game so much. But why is it that they only ever say go and play Baldur's Gate? Why are you not saying go back and play Inquisition? Why are you not saying go back and play the other amazing Dragon Age games when you're saying that this is the worst one in the series? Well, they're not even really saying that, actually. They're not straight up saying that it's the worst in the series. They're just saying that it was a little too basic. This is just a wild article, because it really does sound like they're bitching that a game they kind of wanted to succeed didn't outright succeed. But then they also go on to kind of say that the developers didn't do a good enough job, but they're also not straight up condemning the developers and saying you guys just did a really bad job. And people on X were kind of roasting them for it. Now listen, I don't like to toot my own horn, okay? I don't like to flex my social media numbers. You guys have 2 likes. You have 93,000, almost 94,000 followers, and you have 2 likes. That's it? Really? Genuinely, that's the best you could muster? 2. You know what? Just to be generous, we'll also say that 2 bookmarks are people who support them. Impossible to figure out even for a computer. Yeah, it's a real fucking mystery, Scooby. This right here is a perfect example of why games journalism is irrelevant. One game is just plain fun and enjoyable, where you can beat up monsters while it improves from its previous games. The other, I actually have no opinion on, but from all I've seen, to clips, to playthroughs, and watching old videos in the older games, yeah, it is very bad. Dragon Age the Veilguard is disappointing in every way, shape, or form. Vera, get on my level, Dark. Well, I'm not trying to flex, but like, I could put up a tweet right now and get 2 likes in less than 1 minute if I wanted to. You know what I mean? And they, in how many days? Fucking 4 days? 5 days? They can't even get 3. Locked in at 2. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh yeah, there's also a thread over on Kotaku in Action Must be nice being this delusional, but hey, they'll be out of business soon. The writer's a delusional moron. Most people bought BioWare games because of the writing, not the gameplay. DAO's combat is good, but it's a bit jank. What make people love Origins is the role-playing element and the writing. Mass Effect 1 gameplay is bad, but people like it because of how good the writing is. Why is there such an overwhelming percentage of video game journos that obviously don't play the game they're writing about? That's why I try to stream a lot of the games that I talk about, because I think that it's only fair. But it just becomes more and more obvious with every day that passes that these people just are not playing these games. And hey, everybody can like the games they want. You are allowed to like Veilguard. You're allowed to like Avowed or Bloom and Rage. If you do, give this stream a dislike and leave. Or tell me so I can ban you. Because you have some fucking trash taste. But you can like whatever game you want. Though there's no shot that they're really bitching that Wilds is successful and Veilguard flopped. It's just not. It can't be real. Vera the social media genius. That's me. Don't wear it out. I think those followers are bots. Well, the thing is that it's like Kotaku, Polygon, the Gamer. They've had their social media accounts for a long time. So I don't necessarily think that they're bots. I just think that they're people who once followed them, who maybe don't use social media anymore, or don't really pay a lot of attention to their feeds anymore. Things like that. Rachel Zegler is like the transgender Lord Farquaad. Listen, I don't think we needed to add the word transgender in there for it to sting her ego. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it brought it from like a 40 to an 80. Throwing the word in. I don't think so. I mean, ultimately, this is bad. And she probably feels bad. Do you think that she actually cares? I feel like she has to at some point. Maybe initially she didn't really care about the feedback. But you're just not convincing me. And this is so clearly intentional because this is, I would assume, this is going to be the end of the movie when like she's getting married and she's saved the kingdom and she's being a cutesy girl, right? And she's strong and brave and talking about how happy she is now that she saved everyone. La-di-da-di-do. All of the other Disney princesses have gotten married in other outfits. All of their, like, end movie outfits are different from their iconic ones. So, like, in Cinderella, she has the big, poofy blue dress, but at the end, she gets married in, like, a white and pink and light blue dress. Looks wildly different from her normal film attire. Beauty and the Beast. What an ugly, stupid, idiotic modernization of Belle's dress, whatever. Okay, at the end, she's not wearing like a yellow dress anymore. She's wearing like this flowery pink dress. All of the Disney princess like wedding dresses or end of the movie dresses have all looked very similar, but it's in the, like their classic silhouettes. But with this one, they just fucking spray painted it white. Why did they do this if it wasn't intentional? You are not going to convince me that somebody didn't see this comparison in their mind. Because this just, I get it. It's supposed to be basically the same silhouette as the dress she's wearing throughout the normal film, the base film. It's so awful. It's so bad. It's so bad. And the hair. Why? Why? Couldn't they have just given her like shorter, wispier hair? Like Rachel Zegler has worn her hair shorter before. So why didn't they just do that? Like, Rachel Zegler short haircut. Like, there was a red carpet event that she went to. They don't want to give me Rachel Zegler. Come on, Brave, you can do better than that. Here, let me find an image. Like, they've given her in the past, like, very, like newer and modern haircuts that aren't, I don't know, that aren't this. Like, when she's gone to, like, red carpet events. I'm trying to find one of these pictures. Zegler short haircut. Yeah, like this. Okay, let me bring up this image. Because this is a good one. At least I think that this is a good one. Like that. Like, why not just do that in the movie? Sure, it's less Snow White, but I think there comes a point where you need to, if you can't make it look good, you need to modernize at that point. Like, the rest of the movie's already modernized, so why don't you just continue modernizing? Like, even something like this would have looked way better. That looks more like Snow White than what they gave her. It's like the ends of her hair are so, like, poofy, and it's so bizarre. It's so bad. Which, hey, I mean, she probably doesn't care that much because she's still getting paid. But she looks fucking stupid. She really looks dumb. I can't recall any good live-action movie. Well, some of the, like, Disney live-action, like, adaptations, I wouldn't necessarily call them, like, amazing or fantastic, but they at least still felt like the general essence of the original animateds. But this one is just, like, let's put in... And what's crazy is that it's not even like they've put in the least amount of effort possible. Because they've put in hundreds of millions of dollars. So least amount of effort possible, you would think, is them putting, like, I don't know, 20 million or 30 million into it. They've done several different reshoots and additions because they thought that this was going to be, I don't know, weird. It's not funny anymore. This is fucking trash. And now this Zegler and Lord Farquaad image are just being spread across the internet. People pointing and laughing, saying, wow, that's not Snow White, that's my sister. I've never wanted a Shrek live-action adaptation, but I am officially nominating Rachel Zegler as Lord Farquaad. I think that that's fair. I think that she would do a really great job as him. Who's the director? I gotta be honest, I don't even remember who the director for this is Snow White live-action director. Mark Webb. I don't know who Mark Webb is. Mark, you've done a terrible job. He did The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He did... Oh. Well, like, nothing else that people are going to know, actually. So, that's about where we stop. 500 Days of Summer. And... yeah. That's literally it. So, congratulations to Mark for doing, I guess, just the worst job possible. I guess, though, when you don't have a lot of experience, maybe this is the best that he could really come up with. Well, it is what it is. They really did their hardest to make Rachel look as unattractive as possible. Rachel Zegler, I think, is pretty controversial, right? Because, or people are kind of divided on her, because there's some people that think that when she's, like, on the red carpet and she's not, like, playing a character, she looks attractive, or attractive to a certain extent. And then there's people that think that she's, like, the ugliest woman on the planet. But I genuinely feel like none of the promotional images where she's supposed to be playing this princess, who, by the way, is supposed to be the fairest of them all, who's supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. She just... It's like they wanted to make a mockery of Rachel Zegler. Like, you would think that this would be, like, the height of her beauty, because they would have her looking very, like, ethereal and feminine and dainty. And then that's what we get. Oof, it's bad. The more that I look at it, really the worse that it gets. Absolutely disgusting. He's more likable than her. I have to agree. I like Lord Farquaad more than I like Rachel Zegler. And speaking of Rachel Zegler, that's not even the most of the news. Because we've also found out that they're still losing their confidence in her, because now they're scaling back the US premiere. So they did the Japan one, which apparently went pretty good. They completely canceled the UK one. And now they're scaling back the US premiere, which you'd think that if they are going to do, like, any premiere events, that the US one, or the Hollywood one, right, that would be the one that they would stick with. But now the media is crying because the media is not getting their access anymore. I think I made a post on X about this. Yeah. Variety over here, crying. Disney is hosting a Hollywood premiere of Snow White on March 15th, but the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creatives at its premiere. Oh, my poor, sad, sweet Chernos. Oh man, how could Disney do this? Poor media outlets. They're being forgotten by Disney? Next, we're gonna see Variety putting out an article. This is why you shouldn't trust entertainment companies. Yeah, we've been trying to tell you dumb fucks this for years at this point. It's just too funny. With just days to go before the release of the live-action Snow White remake, which, by the way, I don't think any of you are going to see it, but if you are going to see it, put a 1 in chat. 1 if yes, 2 if no. I think maybe like 1 person will go see it. With just days to go before the release of the live-action Snow White remake, Disney is drastically reducing its usual Hollywood premiere spectacle. The studio is still hosting an event on March 15th at the El Capitan Theater, but it won't include the extensive red carpet and media presence typically associated with a major Disney release. Instead, only photographers and a house crew will be allowed to cover the event, with no traditional press interviews taking place. Wow, guys, that is just so sad for them. Dark Draconian, thank you so much for the 2. I guess I had missed this. It didn't pop up, but thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate the dono. And Clint, thank you for the 5. I think you've pointed it out, but Gal is like twice Zegler's height and glides across the stage while Zegler clomps around like a thoroughbred. She really does. And I think personally that their relationship is on like very rocky grounds. So I feel like they, at that event, I believe it was the Oscars, they wanted to stay away from each other. But I think that Rachel Zegler has also come to the conclusion, because her mind is twisted and she's delusional, that she's like more of a woman than Gal, or that she's more like popular, or like more like famous. I don't understand it, but she acts like she is significantly bigger and better than Gal, which is such like a brain dead take. Don't type 1, she'll ban you. True and real. Mods, ban anybody who said 1 and that they're going to see it. There's nobody. Absolutely no one. I will be the only loser watching this movie. I'm definitely going to go to the theaters to watch it, guys. I definitely have already bought my ticket. I definitely will be watching this in a theater. I definitely would not watch this from the comfort of my home. I would never do something like that. Disney has not committed to this shift, but even Variety acknowledged that this decision comes amid ongoing controversy surrounding the film. You know it's really bad when the Varieties have to finally admit it. Now, in this piece that Variety did, they do talk about the situation, but of course, they can't help themselves but take a swipe at moviegoers. Some toxic Disney fans questioned Snow White being played by Zegler when her casting was announced because she is a Latina actor. The West Side Story star also faced backlash when she called the 1937 original dated because the prince literally stalks Snow White. In an interview 2 years ago, she said she's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. So instead of just saying, yeah, this actress has made some really bad statements, they go, no, you guys are the ones who are toxic. You guys are the ones that are the problem. You guys are the ones that are the ists. I guess it's good that they didn't say Latinx. I guess. I shouldn't even be trying to give them credit. Also, by the way, you didn't add a period. You forgot the period. Space, period, space. Come on, guys. If you're gonna call me toxic in an article, at least have the article written properly. Anyway. Now, of course, though, because Rachel Zegler has a nice, big, fancy, shiny Disney PR team, she's changed her tune a little bit. She reasons that the backlash to the film is due to the passion for the original film. I interpret people's sentiments towards this film as passion. What an honor to be a part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and all we can do is our best. She was just the one, a couple of weeks ago, who was saying she hopes that Trump supporters, how many of those are there again? More than a couple, Zegler, never know a day of peace again. Yeah, guys, suddenly she respects people's opinions. Suddenly, it's passion. But also, don't forget, she hopes that you never know a day of peace just because you have a different opinion than hers. Justin, thank you so much for the 2. Latin XXX, Rachel Z's future career film genre. I don't know if she'd be very successful at that. Like, usually that's the response, right? But, like, I don't think so. I don't think she'd make it. World politics have also come into play. Zegler has promoted Free Palestine on social media. At the same time, Godot, who is Israeli, has become an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media as well. In a passionate speech she delivered on March 4th when she was honored at the ADL's annual summit in New York City. Never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world we would see people not condemning Hamas but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre. Now, I'm not sitting here, right, and saying that they're not allowed to have their opinions as human beings, but I don't think that any of these actresses should be going on social media and spewing however they feel about these politics when they are the face of a multi-million-dollar production. I'm saying this as like the standpoint of someone from the outside looking in. None of this looks good. You've got two actresses who are completely warring with each other on screen and off screen. Do they really think that that is going to bring them money or support? Maybe Disney was like, you know what? This movie can't get any worse, so you might as well just both continue promoting your own opinions, because we're already going to lose money on it. Chaos, thank you for the 10. It was an honor to read the comment section made into 3 songs. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. These people need to shut the fuck up and act. They've got one job. See, but in their opinion, oh, they've already done their acting, so they can just say whatever they want on social media. It says Godot has stayed away from politics in the past, but has said she felt the need to speak up after the October 7th attack. And then, of course, you have Zegler saying, may Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. And then she apologized. I think because she realized how many millions of people actually voted for the guy. These individuals just can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. Sure, again, they can say whatever they want, but, like, ultimately, as a customer, it doesn't look good. Also, yeah, that's the Ricky Gervais speech from the 2020 Golden Globes. Thank you for the 2. The article also says, in the past, Disney has gone all out for live-action remakes with elaborate red carpet events, numerous interviews, and a media blitz to build hype. The decision to scale back this aspect of Snow White signals a lack of confidence in the film's reception. I don't know how many more of these they're actually going to do at this point. Like, there are plenty that they still could do, but with each one, well, I wouldn't say with each one it's getting worse, but each one is not going positively. So they started off really good, like Cinderella, which had, of course, what's his name? Richard Madden, who was in Game of Thrones, and whatever her name is, the lead actress, she's really good. And then, like, Beauty and the Beast had Dan Stevens and Emma Watson. And then you had Aladdin, which was mostly a new set of actors, except for Will Smith. But then after that, we're talking about all unknown people. But the reason why they're choosing unknown people is because they want to be able to pay them less, because they realize that their, like, profit margin is becoming slimmer and slimmer, because these movies, they're having to put more and more money into them. So at this point, with Mulan, which was a total flop, and the Little Mermaid, which didn't end up making them any profit, and now with Snow White, that I would definitely bet will not make them any money, I think they're probably going to stop doing these. I mean, who knows? Though, I don't see how they could continue down this path. Hollywood is drying up. Keep in mind that Hollywood brings in about $12 billion a year, and the gaming industry brings over 200, or right around 200 billion a year. Night and day difference. That's why it's crazy to me that, like, Kojima wants to get out of making video games and wants to go to Hollywood. Bro, you ain't gonna get money for projects, brother. This premiere downgrade aligns with Disney's broader approach to limiting Snow White's exposure. I think that it is a mixture. I think they had to put a lot of money into reshoots. I think that they understand that Rachel Zegler has made herself in this project look really bad. But I also think that they are having an issue behind the scenes with Rachel and Gal because they hate each other. So I feel like if they put them on the red carpet together, there's just going to be a fight. And there's just going to be these two women constantly bitching at each other and nitpicking at each other. Hey, I'm down for it. That sounds like fun. It sounds like more fun than watching modernized Snow White. How much do we have to pay Disney for the behind-the-scenes footage of this fucking film? Listen, I don't talk about politics a lot on this channel. But I would have a glorious time watching these two fight just based on their political opinions. They must be, sorry, I'm just gonna say it, they must be the two biggest fucking bitches. I mean, we already see that with Rachel Zegler quite a lot. And Gal, she's been pretty snappy in some of the other premieres and events. So, I don't know. I would pay good money to watch their, like, political infighting. Alright, it's not, well, when it comes to the production infighting, because they're supposed to be a team. We see how that goes. It says, though, the film has faced intense scrutiny from the start. Many longtime Disney fans expressed frustration over changes to the classic Snow White story, particularly the decision to replace the seven dwarfs with a mixed group of characters. It is so stupid that you have a movie about the seven dwarfs and you have one actor who bitched about it being offensive, and then you cost 7 small people their jobs. Like, we're not talking about these types of people having a billion different opportunities, right? It's not like every day, every week, every month, there's always movies coming out with these types of actors in them. If you guys want to fucking bitch about diversity in Hollywood, why don't you start with people who actually aren't getting screen time? But you're just gonna casually take away jobs from these types of people because one fucking dipshit decided to complain. I like Peter Dinklage as an actor. I think that he's pretty good. I don't think that he's bad, but he was never a part of this project. He was never affiliated with this movie. Therefore, his opinion shouldn't have mattered at all whatsoever. So much for leftists being for the little guy. Thanks, Clint, for that comment. Then there was Zegler's own approach to the role. Her dismissive remarks about the 1937 animated film, including calling it dated and portraying the film as the prince as a problematic stalker, sparked backlash. Yeah, who would have fucking thunk it? Attacking one of the central characters, calling them creepy and a stalker and a fucking weirdo. Who could have imagined that that wasn't going to be a good decision? You genuinely have to be brain dead to think that something like that was going to turn out good, or like it was not going to negatively affect a production. However, he is the king of the little people and has the final say. Damn, Thor and Oakenshield over there. Adding to concerns, the film presence in key theaters is much smaller than expected. At Disney Springs AMC in Orlando, a venue on Walt Disney World property known for showcasing Disney films prominently, Snow White is only being allocated a handful of screens. This limited theatrical rollout suggests Disney isn't expecting a surge of demand, even if it's in its own backyard theater. I cannot wait for I don't know, 3, maybe 4 days, when suddenly, out of the blue, majestically, like half the theaters that are playing this are sold out of tickets. Because we just know that something like that's going to happen. Whoa, guys! It's selling like hotcakes. Buy your tickets today. Oh, and then the big trailers will come out at release day saying like the #1 movie in America. Stupid. Hey, at least all of the trash is releasing right next to each other. You've got Snow White coming out on the 21st and Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out on the 20th. Which is so bizarre. Why are they releasing Assassin's Creed Shadows on a Thursday? Not that I mind, because I'm still going to be streaming on that Thursday, so like we're just going to start Assassin's Creed Shadows next week on Thursday, but like, why? Some days video games release on Tuesdays, others Thursdays, most of the time Fridays, occasionally Saturdays. Like, how about we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday? How about that? They don't want to ruin the weekend. Unfortunately, they've ruined my weekend, so they might as well just fucking release it like a normal company. I think because they know it's going to... I think it just... For Shadows, they want to be able to count it as a 4-day weekend, which is weird because usually companies can't, or they used to not. I guess they can do whatever the fuck they want. They used to not count it as a 4-day weekend unless it was like a Memorial Day or a Labor Day, right? So then it was a 4-day weekend, but now they're releasing it on Thursday, but then they're going to count the release weekend numbers as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so they're just artificially creating a 4-day weekend. Dumb. Thank you so much for the 10. I'm supposed to have a speck of thought that I'm escaping watching a film, not watching and having intertwines of reality to the supposed art and respected if Disney throws money away to send messages. Wow, well, unfortunately they have for many, many, many years. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, video games and movies, they're forms of escapism, and we shouldn't be beaten over the head with a modern day political narrative. And well, we are even with Snow White because she's a strong leader and she doesn't need men and she's protecting her kingdom when nobody else will. Like, she's putting a target on her back to protect her people and she's the only one brave enough. It's stupid. But thank you so much for the 10. Chaos, thank you so much for the 5. Goal achieved. Nice. Much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. It is close to as historically accurate as possible, Vera. Can't you tell a black samurai is going to be in the game based on a fictional history written by a white man that made it all up? I know. I guess I should just stop being a fucking bigot. You know? I guess I should just shut up, consume the product, stop being a racist, homophobe, gooner, loser. I guess I should just, you know, shut up and consume product, right? Speaking of Assassin's Creed, I guess I had missed this because they announced today that if you pre-order the game, you get the expansion pass, or the expansion for free. And I was looking it up. Apparently, they announced this at the very end of January. I don't remember that because, and hey, let me specify, because it was at the beginning of February that this DLC was leaked. But I found an article that mentioned this. Maybe it was edited, though. I didn't see an edit date on it, but that's the only thing that I could think of. But apparently, this DLC, right, that was supposed to come out, and I'm assuming it's going to be $10 to $15, is you're going to get it for free if you pre-order the game. You get a new region, weapon, side activity, gear, skills. It just, to me, kind of screams desperation. It really does. Like, if you know you have a super successful game, and you know lots of people are going to buy it and play it, then why are you offering it for free? And to specify, right, there are other Assassin's Creed games and Ubisoft games that have come out that have offered free DLCs or free content. But as far as I recall, right, I haven't done too much research into it. As far as I recall, they've never offered a paid expansion pass for free randomly like this. Like, sure, they'll make DLC or costume or weapons that anybody can download, but that's right from the beginning. They never put a price tag on that. But with this, you're going to be able to purchase it separately after the fact. I think that they're really just desperate, and so they're trying to get people to pre-order it because they realize that if they can't get people to buy the base game, then selling a DLC is not going to fucking matter. Justin, thank you so much for the 5. Woke 7 dwarf names. Twinkie, Themi, Wokey. Is that supposed to be Pookie? Or I think that's supposed to be Pookie. Toppy, Bottom, and Bear. Thank you for the 5. I feel kind of offended we didn't have like a femboy or like a gooner in there, but you know what? It's okay. We need the anti-woke one. It should have been a perfect balance. But I still appreciate the attempt nonetheless. Ubisoft, Japan, government officials and temple officials. Well, okay. The thing with this is that they basically just tried to threaten Ubisoft, hoping it was going to turn out well for them and that Ubisoft would magically remove it. But they didn't, and I don't think it's going to go any farther. Maybe it will. I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I don't have an insider at Ubisoft. I don't think that Ubisoft gives a fuck at this point. They wouldn't have made a boba tea, like, special box for Assassin's Creed Shadows. They wouldn't have purchased fucking Zoro's sword for the images, for the promotional materials, or geisha statues off of fucking Amazon. They wouldn't have put Shiny's architecture into it. They don't care. They don't. Well, maybe at the beginning of the game's development cycle they cared. I don't think so anymore, though. Will the DLC be considered as another engagement? Well, the DLC won't have individual numbers, so no. But I think that what they're hoping is that because people are getting the DLC for free at launch, instead of having to pay like $10 to $15 for it extra, that it will lead to more engagement for the launch because more people will give it a shot because they basically say, oh, well, I'm going to be getting free content down the line. So yeah. Yo, chat, is Ubisoft real? No, it's not real. Have they hidden any replies? I don't think so, no. They haven't hidden any replies on this one, but they have been hiding a lot of replies lately. Why can't this just be included with the base game? Wait, I pre-ordered already. Am I still gonna get this? Right? There are a lot of people here who I think are just straight up Assassin's Creed fans. And that's cool. It's like I always say, if a game looks great to you, buy it. I hope you thoroughly enjoy it. I hope you think it's fantastic. That's great. I don't think that it's a good look when a company is saying, you know what, fuck it, we're changing our minds. We're gonna give you all this free extra content. That to me screams desperation. Imagine pre-ordering an Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Could not imagine pre-ordering an Assassin's Creed game. Well, that's about all the news I have for Assassin's Creed. Listen, it's part of the job, okay? I have to play this stupid fucking game. I do not want to play this. I really don't. I would rather be playing like 30,000 other things. But it is what it is. And, well, I guess we've got to. So I thought this was interesting. I highlighted this at the beginning of stream. And I don't know how you are supposed to take this, except for the blatantly obvious, what the fuck are you hiding on your phone angle. So GDC is right around the corner. We have Kim Belair, who's doing a presentation about being black in the gaming industry, which we'll talk about in a minute. Do we want to watch her GDC video from a couple of years ago? Last year, I watched it on stream. I think when she had one of her meltdowns, whatever. We could watch it again if we wanted, or part of it. I don't think I could listen to 30 minutes of Kim Belair. But GDC's right around the corner. Lots of people are going to be traveling to experience it. That's cool. I guess if you're a shill in the industry, congratulations to you for, I guess, getting access to this great event. Keep in mind, at GDC last year, there were developers on the, lawn screaming, trying to, fight the patriarchy, and they were upset about Gamergate. Hold on, let me find it. GDC. Let me see. GDC. Yeah. Game devs lose their minds, scream in defense of Gamergate 2 and against layoffs at GDC 2024. Because that's normal behavior for full-grown fucking adults. But now, this person is telling people to, quote, wipe their phones. Why? What the fuck do you have on your phones that could get you in trouble? Pretty sus. Important message to all my Canadian game developer friends and colleagues. If you are attending GDC in San Fran next week, slay San Fran, I beseech you to reconsider. That gave me whiplash right there. You can no longer expect to travel to the US and return safely. Yeah. If you're a Canadian, don't come to the US. How about that? The anti-woke 7 dwarf names: Chuddy, Basie, Breedy, Goonie, Whitey, Manly, and Boner. Wow. Absolutely inspirational. Thank you, Justin, for the 5. Things are getting intense, and they are going to get worse before they get better. Do not put yourself in a position where you are unable to get back into Canada, or where your Canadian citizenship is used against you. Motherfucker thinks that he's in The Handmaid's Tale. That he's coming to the US, he's in fucking Gilead, right? He's gotta escape. He's gotta cross the fucking rivers and the streams to get into Canada and away from the Gilead government. These people are insane. This is truly mental illness. And hey, if you feel unsafe going somewhere, if you feel unsafe coming to the United States, then don't. It's really just that simple. Don't come to the US then. Stay in Canada. We will not shed a tear. This is especially true if you have been supported of any causes or expressed any values that run contrary to the tastes of the current administration in the US. If you have, wipe your phones and know your rights before you enter the US. Bro sounds like he's walking into a fucking battlefield and he might not ever come home. He's kissing his children goodbye. I'm sorry, this is so... It's so over dramatic. It's insane. What is it that is on your phone that you believe needs to be wiped? That is crazy to me. I mean, he's basically tattling on himself that he's got something degenerate on his phone. Wipe your phone. What a bizarre thing to think of or say if you've got nothing on your phone to hide. Yikes. I'm sorry if this seems alarmist to you, but if it does, I would suggest you haven't been... What? Wait, I need a restart. I know words. It's either me reading it wrong or him typing it wrong. I'm sorry if this seems alarmist to you, but if it does, I would suggest you haven't been paying attention. I would suggest you haven't... Okay. He could have worded that differently. I know what he's trying to say, but I would have worded that as, I would suggest you start paying attention, or I believe you haven't been paying attention. Whatever. To the news or what is unfolding before your very eyes. Please be careful. You know what? If you don't feel safe, don't come here. How about that? It's really just that simple, I would say. But obviously, he is not going to be the only crazy Canadian that's coming to GDC. San Fran, guys. Gotta love it. Daniel, thank you for the $4.99. Is it just me or are the feminists saying Gilead will become real just for clicks, or are they idiots? I feel like there genuinely are people out there who consume media and believe it all to be true. Like, there are so many complexities to the story of Handmaid's Tale. And, like, I'm not going to sit here and give a 4-hour essay on it. But there are so many complexities in the world of The Handmaid's Tale, and basically why women had to be deduced to being in those positions. And it's like these people genuinely believe that that same thing is happening throughout the world, when it certainly isn't. These people need to stop watching entertainment, because they truly are taking it too seriously now. But thank you, Daniel, for the 5. Insane. Though, yeah. That is just one of the many, many, many Canadians who's trying to fearmonger. And, well, I think that we all knew that this was going to happen. That Kim Belair is, of course, a speaker at GDC this year, in just a couple of days, presenting the Black Designer's Dilemma. Kim Belair is the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., which, by the way, she used to be the co-CEO. So now she's just the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a narrative development company based in Montreal. Part of the games industry since 2013, she's written for projects including Valhalla, Neocab, Sable, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and many more. Beyond her narrative work, Kim is an advocate for representation and inclusion in games, and for generally making things better for workers in an often unfair industry. Generally making things better. What does that even mean? Like, she tries, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The only good thing about Montreal is the steak seasoning. It is definitely not Kim Belair or Sweet Baby. Yeah, GDC is the Game Developers Conference. But she's presenting the Black Designer's Dilemma. There's a lot of people on this list. Whoa, let me get my pass now. I know Kim would like cry harassment and call the cops and say, I don't know, I beat her on the internet or something. Prepare. Ooh, wait, cinematic. Prepare to immerse yourself in an insightful panel presentation that transcends the traditional format, building on the positive response from last year. I don't think anything Kim Belair has done has been deemed positive. I'm sorry, Kimmy. We gotta call a spade, though. You just fucking suck. Our session introduces design challenges that tackle company culture issues affecting Black designers. Join industry experts and professionals in collaborative problem solving and gain actionable insights for reshaping company cultures to empower Black designers. Ah, yes. What was it that Kim Belair said? That she believes that people need to bully companies into making the changes they feel strongly about? That it is almost your job as a developer to bully companies to do what you want them to do? It's almost like she's saying to do that same exact thing yet again. I think the only thing you should be telling a company to do is... well, I can't say that. The session is designed to give insight to those who are just entering the industry and veterans who have been navigating for years. We need to get the crew together for this. We need to get all the little bitches in this industry together to virtue signal at once. We need Alyssa there. We need David there. We need Mark Dara. By the way, I think I said this last time. I feel like his name was Mike Dara. I don't know why. I think he changed his name on me because I keep convincing myself it's Mike Dara. Don't know why. Who else? Who are some other people that are washed up in the industry who have been focused on virtue signaling over the past couple of years? We got to get the squad together. Participants exit this session with a comprehensive understanding of strategies for empowering designers within studio environments to create communities. No one gives a fuck, just make good games. How about that? You know what would be great for Black people in this industry? Is if you had a group of people who were just making good games and one of them or some of them happen to be Black. The best thing you can do to represent your gender or your ethnicity or your culture is to actually do something good and memorable that people are going to remember. They really want us to pay for a brainwashing fucking lecture. How much is this shit? How much is this shit? No. I want the specific one. The Black Designer Pass Types All Access Core Summit Expo Indie. All access passes. Oh my god, this is degenerate. Can I just add this? This shit is crazy. GDC Vault Access is $650. Holy fuck, no wonder these people need to virtue signal. 2,400 bucks. No wonder these people need to fucking virtue signal. No wonder they need to fucking beg for money. Holy shit, 2,500 bucks to be told you're a fucking racist and you need to hire more Black people for your projects? That's good for them. Good for them. There's so much I could say, but all I'm going to say is you call content creators like myself, for example, grifters for talking about the industry and saying, oh, hey, there's a link in my description where you can donate to support this channel, or oh, hey, there's 5 games coming out next month, and if you want to donate one, let me know. Oh, you're a grifter because you're begging for money. But then you don't see the problem with the industry charging thousands of dollars for access and you inevitably asking for money, right? Because I can't 100% without a shadow of a doubt say this is happening, but I would put money on the fact that there are some developers who want to go to GDC who are asking for money. And then the people running this event, so basically they're just asking you to come and pat them on the back and you all can fucking circle jerk each other. They're really begging for that much money. I mean, I knew it was expensive. I thought it was like 1,000, but 2,500 is more than I thought it was. But yeah, apparently participants are going to exit with a comprehensive understanding of strategies for empowering designers within studio environments to create communities that empower diverse perspectives. Attendees learn how to engage in interactive design challenges, collaborate with industry leaders, and develop actionable plans for driving positive change. You're really walking out of there with knowledge on how to bully companies. That's just so funny to me. It really is. Like, you think that that is good? That normal people would read that and go, hell yeah, this is awesome. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's pretty pathetic. At least to me. I know that last year, last year people were bringing this one up, and I'm not really going to play it, but this was from GDC in 2019 about Kim Belair, and as you can see, GDC had reacted really positively. This is, it says, in the 2019 GDC session, narrative designer Kim Belair shares her experiences as a minority creator, highlights the pitfalls that often see developers telling the same old story, and offers solutions to help craft stronger narratives and recruit new voices. Highlights the pitfalls that often see developers telling the same old stories. You know what's funny about that is you're complaining about the same old stories, but your new modern stories are not making any money. So you'd think that telling these same old stories would be better than killing your industry or not having a job at all. But yeah, they had turned the likes and dislikes off. They turned the comments off. I mean, they had a total meltdown over this happening. What's this one? What? How to become a narrative designer. Who the fuck is this? Jeez, that was loud. I've never heard of this person. Popped right up though. How to go from aspiring to a narrative designer. Guys, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna become a narrative consultant. Because that's definitely what the industry needs. Are people coming up with names and titles for themselves just to try to make money from the industry. That's definitely what people need. All right, guys. And we only really have one more final topic for the evening, which is going to be The Last of Us. Because, well, there's been a lot of news surrounding The Last of Us and Naughty Dog over the past couple of days. Neil Druckmann's talked a bit about Intergalactic... the Heretic Prophet? Is that what it's called? I don't even fucking remember at this point. And does it say it here? Does it say it here? It's... I said it right. Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. I did. I'm not insane. Don't fucking judge, okay? I'm not insane. I'm not Kim Belair. We've heard from him that you know, that's been their focus for a while, and obviously the Last of Us show is going strong. Apparently, they are not sure about what's going to happen with The Last of Us Part 3. If The Last of Us 1, let's play the what if game. The Last of Us 1. It's been out for 3 years. Super hype. The DLCs come out. We're all waiting for news. If after Last of Us 1 came out, they announced Part 2 and Part 3 at the same time, or no, they announced Part 2, but then they said Part 3 was going to be canceled, I would be heartbroken. But after playing The Last of Us Part 2, now with them saying, oh, Part 3 probably isn't happening, I do not give a single fuck. The second game was so bad. It was sad. It was depressing. It was heartbreaking. It was not good. So yeah, if all those years ago you told me after the first one came out they weren't doing a third and they were only doing 2, I'd be sad. But now I just couldn't care less. So The Last of Us co-creator Neil Cuckman has given a disappointing update on the chances of a new game. The Last of Us was released in 2013 and told the story of the gruff smuggler Joel transporting the precarious Ellie across America after a fungus-related apocalypse. The critically acclaimed game is followed by a celebrated sequel in 2020. An HBO adaptation starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey aired in 2023 and inspired a new generation of fans to check out the games. Shortly afterwards, Cuckman confirmed the developers at Naughty Dog were considering a third Last of Us game. Last year, he said that he finally had an idea for the game after previously struggling to find a strong narrative. However, in a new interview with Variety, plans for a Part 3 have seemingly changed. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more The Last of Us. This could be it, Neil Cuckman said. I do think that they are focused on not only the show, but also on Intergalactic. But I genuinely think Vera hates me. Yeah, I do, for sure. Wait, why do I hate you? I do genuinely think that if Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet flops, it's going to be it for Neil Cuckman, sorry. I think that he will fade away into oblivion, into obscurity, because he's been given so much money, and they've canceled several Last of Us projects. Like, they canceled Factions. They had just canceled another game that was rumored to be Last of Us. So they've already dumped a bunch of money into projects that have been canceled. Never mind with Intergalactic, Heretic Prophet. I just don't think that Neil Druckmann at that point would be around for much longer. I only played one. Only play one, period. Do not play the second one. Well, I guess you can if you really want to. I personally didn't like it. I was disappointed by it, like so many people were. It was just a total trashing of these characters and these stories that we loved. Happy 2025. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Much appreciated. I hope your day's going good. Vera Hate Me. Sounds like a Slipknot song. God damn it, Vera, get his name right. It's Cuckman. It is. I'm sorry to Neil Cuckman that I failed to say your name properly. I would appreciate being able to apologize to you face to face, and I will never misappropriate you again. Joel in 1 is the most I could say about The Last of Us Part 2, which is heartbreaking, because Joel was such an amazing character that they just kind of threw away, because they were like, you know what? We need another strong woman. Men, ew. We don't like having men in our video games. I would sit here and rant for hours about The Last of Us Part 2, and I don't want to do that. But when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2 or A potential part 3. Just let it die. I think that's all that they really could do at this point. Is anybody... Well, I guess maybe the shills are. Like, the really big Last of Us fans. And I'm sure that the show has brought some people in. But I don't... From what I remember, at least, I don't remember anybody, like, begging for Last of Us Part 3 over the past couple of years. Like, sure, there are occasionally some people that are like, oh my gosh, I love Last of Us, you guys are just bigots. But usually, they just say they want something because they want to try to, like, own the chuds. Vera should play the Days Gone remaster because she never... I don't remember when the Days Gone remaster comes out. I've never streamed it, no. Yeah, I've never streamed it. April 25th? Oh, hell no. Sorry. There's like 80 games releasing around that time. Isn't there? April 2025 video game release dates. Isn't there like 80 games releasing in that month? Well, I'll recheck. I think. I could be wrong. Last of Us Part 2 on PC. Oh yeah, guys, don't you want to see that? Oh yeah, South of Midnight comes out. Lost Records Bloom and Rage Part 2 comes out. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 comes out. The day before Days Gone Remastered. Yeah, I'm not choosing a remaster over a brand new game, but maybe one day we could stream it. But yeah, it's right around the same time as those other games, and I'm pretty excited for Claire Obscure 33 Expedition 2025 Part 1 2.0. It's such a long name. But yeah, maybe one day I could stream the Days Gone remaster. Guys, don't you want me to stream The Last of Us Part 2? The 80th port remake remaster of South of Midnight? Really? Yeah, I'll be streaming it. Yup. The end of this month is going to be amazing. We have Assassin's Creed next week, but then the week after we have First Berserker. We have AI Limit. Holy fudge. There's so much good stuff coming out. So many amazing games. Guys, I'll probably be wrapping up stream in about 5 minutes. A little bit of a shorter stream tonight as well, but usually the discussion streams are a little bit shorter. I'll be live again on Thursday, and on Thursday, I think we're going to play Dragonkin, because I've really wanted to play that. I'm going to check through our backlog, though, first, to see if anything else is coming out, or has come out that I've skipped, whether by accident or intentionally. But I believe we'll be playing Dragonkin on Thursday. American folklore game made by woke Canadians. Yeah, how could that possibly go wrong? How could that possibly be a mistake? What are you saying? That Canadians can't make a game about America? Well, these little bitches don't even want to come to America for a game developer conference. Never mind make a accurate game with American folklore. Yeah, I don't know. The first Ascendant update's on Thursday. What's the update? How is Bloom and Rage? Well, first of all, it's only half a game because it was tape 1 and tape 2 doesn't even come out for another like month. But besides the fact that it was only half a game, it was what I would assume is going to be my worst game of the year. It was fucking horrendous. It was... Words can't describe. It was terrible. Nameless King, thank you so much for the 30 months. Absolutely fucking insane. Excited for Walking Simulator 2. I like Walking Simulator because it It's a different experience. It is like a walking movie game. And I can appreciate games that are supposed to be super cinematic. I just hope it is not too artsy-fartsy. Which I feel has definitely kind of become Kojima's MO at this point. It looks good. It looks fun. I'm intrigued. But we'll see. I will be streaming Walking Simulator Death Stranding 2 when it finally comes out. And Troy Baker the game, yep. What game doesn't feature Troy Baker? First Ascendant 2.5, new character, more storyline, big update, all kinds of quality of life. Oh, nice. I'll have to check it out. I didn't know that there was a update releasing. I don't necessarily know if I would stream it on Thursday, but maybe. Basically, a really boring version of Choose Your Own Adventure. Yes. Was Lost Records really woke, though? Yeah. I don't think I could accurately tell you how woke it was. You would have to play it for yourself or watch the review at the end of the stream that I did. It was abysmal. The only reason why the girls are friends are because they're all young women. They're misunderstood by everybody. They're all lesbians. You have characters that really have no sort of emotional connection. The main villain is a evil white man who bullies the women. It's bad. It truly is. Seth, thank you so much for the 2 months as a Silver Titan. The second tier, pretty Chad. My cat just moved the jog wheel of my DJ controller like a scratch DJ. That's one smart cat. Thank you so much for the 2 months. Yeah, Bilbo's been here all stream. He's just, as you can see, sleeping. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream in a minute. If you have any last minute questions, leave them in chat. Any comments, leave them in chat. I appreciate you guys being here the past few hours. Usually discussion streams are a little bit shorter. Plus, I've still been kind of sick. So I'm hoping on Thursday I'll be back to normal and good. Because, you know, we had a shorter stream Sunday. Discussion streams are usually a little bit shorter, though. And then I think we'll start Dragonkin, and we'll play that over the weekend. I'm going to go through the backlog, though. I am very tempted to play Minish Cap. I'm really trying to convince myself not to stream it. I think we could bang it out in a week. It's not time sensitive, even if we didn't finish it. I could always just end up streaming again. Rover! Thank you so much for the... Oh, it's the, it's like the... What's that dog called? Like the Shibu Inu? Is that what it's called? I don't fucking remember. But with the little fireworks. It's very cute. I don't know why it doesn't show here. It's because StreamYards is gay and stupid and ruining our fun. It's dumb. Soon, though, for the big donations, we're gonna have some new videos. Shiba Inu, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought it was that type of Doge, but it's very cute. Gay and dumb. What's gay and dumb? Will you stream South of Midnight? Yes, I will. I try to stream most of the games that I end up talking about. I don't usually get a chance to stream them all, but I do try. Stream a fighting game? If there's any new fighting games out, maybe. But all right, guys, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you all so much for being here the past few hours. I appreciate it. Rover, thank you so much for the 50 right at the end of stream, guys. I really appreciate all of your donations. I appreciate all of your support. I'll be back on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, doing something, playing something, yapping about something. That's all basically guaranteed. But yeah, links in the description. Follow me on social media, join the Discord if you're not already a part of it. Guys, thank you all so much for being here the past few hours. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for stopping by. And, well, my thing is frozen. So we have to actually wait approximately... okay, it's good. It was frozen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for stopping by, and have a very great rest of your evening, everyone.